Right then. Hello there, everybody. Ben, it's been a while since many of you have seen that video. Yes, it's the intro to Talking Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. My name is Leonard Sultana, and welcome along. I know that I don't usually do these on a Saturday either, and around this time, but this is a slightly more in-format version of the announcement I made last week. We've got ourselves a couple of things I want to announce, and also we've got a recap of something that took place last Thursday. Not last Thursday, Thursday before. We had a great time down in London at the Cartoon Museum. We're going to be joined shortly by Joel Meadows, and if we're not, then I'm just going to dive in and do a recap of the Tripwire Awards 2021, which was so much fun. Just so much fun. For those that did manage to make it down to the Big Smoke, we all had a great time just kind of seeing each other in person again, and really kind of celebrating comics and some great creators on a fantastic evening. But yes, I've got myself a couple of quick announcements, which I might as well just dive straight into. First things first, yes, Talking Con was my regular show that I did each and every Sunday at 6 p.m. So 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. Well, it's back. We're going to be returning with that because thankfully my work schedule has kind of opened up. Any changes, I will give you advance notice, don't worry. But for now, my Sundays are nice and free, which means on Sunday, the 26th of this month, so in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be back with a new season of Talking Con. The episode on the 26th is possibly going to be a bit of a recap of something that's happening next weekend. More about that in a second. But we're going to be getting back into all of the con updates, all the news and reviews of conventions that are coming up. We've got ourselves Thought Bubble on the way. We've got Lakes. I'm certain we're going to be representing in some form or another at Lakes this year. A whole bunch of other shows as well. I believe Mark Serby is heading down to MCM Expo in London, so hopefully he's going to give us a bit of a report on that. So yeah, we're going to be bringing you all the Comic-Con news as we move forward, and of course as season 9 barrels on, as it traditionally does, towards San Diego Comic-Con 2021, which myself and the missus are fully intending to attend. That. And also, we're going to be incorporating what we've been doing for the last year and a half when we had our shows running through lockdown. We had some great creators coming on and talking to us about their work, about upcoming projects, and also about life during pandemic. So it's going to have a lot of fun to talk to them about that. So once again, that's Sunday the 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. We are back with Talking Con Season 9. A cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. So please get your cups ready because it's going to be a great run of shows, I think. Also with that as well, don't forget, we want to have your contribution. We want you to join us for the shows. It's always going to be live, which means it's always going to be with Q&A, anything you want to ask our guests, but we want to know who you want to see on the show as our guests. So please do let us know. Jump in with any suggestions on the social media down below, Englishman SDCC. You can either send me a message on Facebook, however you want to get in contact with me. Let me know who you would like to see, and we'll do what we can to pester them the best we can, and we'll get them on the show. But once again, 26 on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. We're back. We're Talking Con. A cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego, season 9. Like I say, the first episode may be a bit of a recap of an event that's taking place next weekend. I have been invited along to take part in Simon Meyer's fantastic looking lineup of the Meanwhile in Commentary event. I'm going to be there for both days. I'm going to be there on Friday and Saturday, and I'm going to be hosting a number of panels. I've been told that I will most certainly be talking to Rachel Smith, who is the creator of Quarantine Comics, and a bunch of other people as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this new comics and art-led convention can bring to the convention landscape, especially as these events as are running now are the new normal. So looking forward to seeing what Simon and the team have got planned for Meanwhile, how it's all going to get laid out and how it's going to work. Hopefully you can join us as well for that. If you are going to be in the area, join us. It's a free event. It's taking place, I believe, at the Coventry Museum. Find out more by searching for Meanwhile in Coventry on Facebook. It's got all the updates, but it's got an amazing lineup of talent joining Simon and the team. So do join us either on the actual weekend. I think I'm going to try and live stream as well some of the panels as well. But yeah, join us for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that is Meanwhile in Coventry next weekend. I'm going to be there hosting for that. Right, that's the 18th and 19th, by the way. So please do join us next weekend. But it's great to have people watching us today. We've got Shane joining us, a good friend of the show, Shane Chebsey, who organizes his own amazing shows. So it's great to have him joining us. Also, he's running a Kickstarter at the moment, which I believe is in its final couple of days. Shane, if you want to share us the link, or if you want to share us some details just as kind of the final stretch of the campaign's going, we'll bang them up on screen. By all means, do let us know what is going on. I know he's going to be at Meanwhile as well. He's letting us know. See you at Meanwhile. Yeah, but Shane, let us know about that campaign. We'll share it on this live stream right now. Okay, so like I said, last week I made my way, not last week, week before. This was on Thursday, as I bring up my calendar again, hang on, Thursday, the 26th or something of last month. Basically, I headed down to the Big Smoke, headed down to London, and it was my honor and privilege to host or co-host the Tripwire Awards 2021. It's something that I've been involved in for a couple of years while Joel Meadows has been running the Tripwire Awards, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Joel right now. Hello there, Joel. How the devil are you, sir?
Hello, very well, thank you.
Excellent stuff indeed. Yeah, we had a good time down there, didn't we?
It was a great evening. We got a really good turnout, and it was the first social thing that we'd done in 2 years, and I think a lot of people it was the same. So yeah, it was a really good evening.
Yeah. It was great to see some faces again. I mean, we all kind of walked into the building with the masks on, but we kind of kept our distances and did what we needed to do to stay safe. But no, it was there to celebrate some great talent, which we did throughout the course of the night. And that's what we're going to recap today, because I know that we did do a live stream kind of impromptu on the evening, but it was very much thrown together at the last minute. We found out that we had Wi-Fi connection, so we were just able to we just kind of threw the webcam on and dived in. Sound was a little bit off in places, and there were 1 or 2 hiccups when it came to the actual presentation. That's all been sorted out post haste, so we're going to do a little bit of a recap. Before we get started, Shane has let us know about that campaign. It's Dead by Dawn, or Dead by Dawn Returns. It's the second volume of an anthology that has been run. It's on Kickstarter. There's the link right now. You don't actually need to put the ref bit in if you want to type it in and search for it, but kickstarter.com/projects/scar comics/dead-by-dawn-returns. Okay. So if you want to find out more about that project, do so. It looks incredible. I believe I'm a backer. So yeah, do check it out. And Shane has got himself an amazing lineup of talent as part of that anthology. There's the link on screen. I'll put it up again before the end of the show. Dead by Dawn Returns. Search for it on Kickstarter. Okay. So, this was so much fun. And it was a pleasure to get the chance to do this with you. And yes, the Tripwire Awards held at the Cartoon Museum, 26th of August. My God, I actually got the date right. So yeah, fantastic stuff. So yeah, I was a little bit more booted and suited, a little bit more smart and set up for it. But we've got everything lined up for the actual presentation now. So looking forward to recapping the winners and going through the runners and riders of the Tripwire Awards. So it was hosted by myself, Englishman in San Diego, and also the editor-in-chief of Collection Collective. And it was hosted by John Meadows. Introduce yourself, sir, to those who may not know who you are.
John Meadows, I'm editor-in-chief of Tripwire, which is a website, but also a print magazine. So we do a print mag once a year. So we cover comics, film, and TV, and anything else that takes our fancy. We've been around for, actually scary, we've been around for 29 years. It'll be 30 years next year. So hello, everyone.
Yeah, you've got your the pedigree. The location that we held the awards in has got its pedigree. The people who we honoured had theirs. Basically, it was just a great night for luminaries of the comics industry. It's safe to say that the last year and a half to coming on to 2 years now have been a massive challenge for the comics industry, for retailers, for artists, and for creatives in the comics industry, in the comics fields. But I think the thing that we took away from the awards, I think certainly two things. Number one was just how the comics industry has risen to the challenge. We have the retailers that pivoted to online, and those that did have bloomed and blossomed. You had the publishers that really took the challenge of getting books out in a fine, respectful format so people could afford the medium that they love. So that was a great thing to see. And they still kept some great stories coming out as well. And then you had the creatives themselves who either stuck with the publishers while they could, or they pivoted to crowdfunding, and they just took that and really flew with it. And some amazing projects and campaigns came out of lockdown while we were all starved for that those creative outlets. So it was great to see them come out. And I think also for myself, it was really cool to see that while this was a long gestating awards, we kind of set it up very early on, and we did the award ceremony very late on post the actual the nominations going out. When those nominations were actually announced, from then, the amount of books that have come out that could easily have slipped into the nominations list was just phenomenal. I mean, Joel, what has been your take on the last year and a half and on the books that have come out?
Well, I mean, as you said, the last year and a half has been very challenging for creators and for publishers. And I think, interesting, we've had quite a boom time. There's a lot of great product, a lot of great books, a lot of great creators. You know, a lot of people seem to have flourished, and they've gone, okay, we can't do things the way that we used to do, but we can still create, we can still write and draw, we can still publish at home, we can still get stuff to print. And obviously, there's a short period when books weren't coming out, but thankfully it was a very short window. And apart from that, you know, with the absence of things like cinema and actually going out, you know, I think comics and graphic novels have had a phenomenal last 18 months, which is great. I mean, we didn't know where we were going to be 18 months ago. You know, I think if you think about it, we wouldn't have imagined that 18 months down the line, you know, touch wood, I think things are looking, you know, more positive. There's been a lot of great things happening, and as you say, shows are starting to come back. We're working on a new comic show of our own, as you know, for this time next year. So, I mean, it's been a horrible 18 months, you know, for a lot of people. A lot of really horrible things have happened, but thankfully, we can hopefully look towards some positive things happening.
Absolutely. And yeah, so if you are wondering where on earth your favorite books may have been missing from these nominations and where they are in the actual finals winners list, it is purely because the amount of great books that have come out post the nominations being put up. You can understand that, yeah, that's just the nature of the beast.
These will be able to reflect those.
Absolutely. So these definitely cover 2019, 2020.
Yes.
2020, yeah.
Or 2020 to the beginning of 2021.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I mean, I think you covered certainly, like, we covered a year and a half's worth of comics. We definitely we had a big window of stuff to look at. Okay. And then we had ourselves, like I say, the venue let's just get myself back to that. Hang on a second. There we go. So yeah, I mean, the awards themselves, if I go back a bit, yeah, I mean, the history of the awards, I mean, this is 2021. This is the third iteration of the awards. Originally ran at Portsmouth Comic Con, and for the last 2 years, we've been able to meet in public to present the awards in some pretty ornate locations. It's like I say, that first year in the Portsmouth Guild Hall. Last year was a virtual event. I mean, Joel, how have you seen the awards evolve from that initial idea of putting something out there in the industry?
I have to say, I think it's been fantastic. I mean, everyone's been amazingly supportive of us, and people have been, incredible. Just from the first year, as you say, the first year at Portsmouth, we got my friend Jasper Bark to host it, and that was a lot of fun with people like Scott Dunbier there, and a lot of the guest people like Sean Phillips who were there. Some were winners, some were just attending. So that was fantastic. And then, moving on to the virtual show last year, it was still a great event. We put on a really fun evening, even though, I did it from my flat and you did it from your house. But
yeah,
it was still a lot of fun. It showed what we could do, virtually. And then this year, returning into a third year, actually having people turn up and being able to do it in the flesh. It was fantastic. So we're very grateful for the whole of the comic industry. People have got behind us. They've supported us either via sponsorship or winning the awards or sharing the nominations. And everyone's been fantastic. It's been great. People have just been really good.
I mean, for myself, I'm hoping that we're able to kind of return to the Cartoon Museum next year as well. It's such a gorgeous venue.
It is a fabulous venue.
Incredible place to and so fitting of what we were trying to celebrate.
Oh yeah, we wanted some. So
we do have to honour the venue. The Cartoon Museum. If you haven't had the chance to go and visit, if you've not been to London for a while, or if you are intending to head to the capital, perhaps on some kind of return to the UK, if you get the chance to go, do check it out. Cartoonmuseum.org is where you can find out all the information.
It's based near Goose Street Tube, which is on the Northern Line, which is one stop from Tottenham Court Road. You're near a lot of great other stuff, restaurants and pubs, and it's a fantastic venue.
Yeah. At the moment, they're doing a cracking exhibition of newspaper and political cartoons. So it was great to see some. I mean, one of my favorite artists, and I've got some books over there. I am a big fan of Giles, and it was great to see some Giles prints. Oh, so not prints, the original artwork. And I didn't realize he did work so large for those newspaper cartoons. So it was great to see those. And like I say, they do some amazing presentations. There's a great piece of original Dave Gibbons artwork for Watchmen up there, which I'm stunned it didn't disappear from the wall before the end of the night, but that's the way it works. Brilliant venue. Do go check it out. That's the Cartoon Museum, which you can find at 63 Wells Street in London. Like I say, find out more about what they're getting up to at cartoonmuseum.org. Okay. Also going to be recognizing our judges. We had 6 this year, including myself and Joel, which we'll get into. We had Ollie McNamee, who is the editor-in-chief at the moment of the Comic Con, which is a site dedicated to comics reportage and review. We also had Louise Saul, who is a writer and journalist, concentrating mostly in the field of cosplay, but very much a very big comics fan. So it was great to have her joining us. And then we had Tim Condell from Mass Movement.
Mass Movement, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just quickly make any comments about the judges, Joel, it was great to have this lineup of people who were able to contribute to the nominations.
Yes, well, obviously we've got Joseph Illidge in there as well, hopefully somewhere.
Yeah, he's in there.
Great, sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
He's the editor-in-chief of Heavy Metal, but he's worked for everywhere from Valiant into to DC to What's in Guttural. And obviously your good self, who's been covering comics for a number of years and interviewing a lot of the movers and shakers. And then there's me, obviously, who's covered comics for nearly 30 years, comics and genre. And, Tim Condell, Mass Movement is a website that covers comics, music, and sort of related media. And the Comic Con is, as you say, a site that covers, comics in all of its forms. And they do a very good job. They're not quite exclusively comics as ourselves. They cover TV and film, but they do it from a comics perspective, and they always do a very good job. So we had a really good mix, of 6 people that we hope would bring something different from each of the judges. We wanted to mix it up. We didn't want it to be one specific kind of viewpoint. We wanted it to be a bit of a mix, and I think hopefully we've achieved that this time.
Absolutely true. Absolutely right. Okay, so then we dived straight into our Tripwire Awards and our first category, which was best comics related website and publications, sponsored by Modern Fanatic. A number of these categories were incredibly close, all the way down the wire.
Right down to the last couple of hours.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And a couple of them switched, so yes.
Yeah. This one was not one of those. There was definitely a front winner. It was great to see the people celebrated. But yes, the best comics related website publications nominations were Newsarama, The Comics Beat, The Comics Journal, Comic Book Resources, and DownTheTubes.net. Yeah, if you have any comments about those sites, I mean, for myself, there's a couple in there which I visit on a regular basis, just to keep my toe in the current news and waters of the comics industry.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I check out Newsarama and I look at CBR, and Down the Tubes is a great website. John Freeman is he'll hate me for saying this, but he is a veteran. He is a comics industry veteran. He used to work for Marvel UK. He used to edit Doc 2 magazine. He's got an amazing perspective on the world of comics, and he focuses mainly on British comics, and he does that better than pretty much anyone else that I can think of. And so his site always is informative, and it always has a great range of stuff, and it's well written and well edited, and it's a great site. So yeah, hopefully we've got to represent a cross section of different places in this year's nominations.
Well, you see, Joel could have saved all of that for this as we announce that the winner of the best comics related website publications was Down the Tubes. It was a worthy winner, and like I say, I think the thing about Down the Tubes is it really also celebrates UK comics, not just current output, but also celebrates our rich history in the comics landscape here in the UK, and that's what Down the Tubes very much celebrates. Unfortunately, John wasn't able to join us for the actual presentation, but he was able to send us a video, and that's what we can play you now. In your own time. Supposed to play automatically, but hey, what the hell?
Tripwire readers, I am absolutely delighted and overwhelmed that you have voted for Down the Tubes as best comic related website. Thank you very much for all your votes. Thank you so much for your support. It means a heck of a lot, especially after the 16 months, 18 months we've all been through, to know that what we've been doing has given you a little bit of joy amongst some of the other things that have been going on. Thank you to Joel for putting us forward for a nomination. Do buy Tripwire magazine. I mean, I am joking about other magazines. You can only buy those as well just because I'm in them. And hopefully, although I can't be with you in person tonight, I may catch up with a lot of comics creators at the Lakes International Comic Art Festival in October, where I'm hoping to also catch up with Joel too. So see you, or some of you soon, and have a great evening.
And we did. We had a great time. Thank you very much indeed to John for that video. Yeah, it was very much a case of John very much celebrating the fact that events are coming back. He's a big part of the Lakes International Comic Art Festival. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what he and the team have got planned for Condell very soon indeed. Okay. So Tripwire Awards 2021. The next category was the best original graphic novel, sponsored by Aftershock Comics. Again, this was one of the categories which was very close to the wire throughout the course. Joel, if you've got any comments, dive in for all of these, because they really were an incredible line of books. Our first nomination was The Black Panther Party, a graphic novel history. David F. Walker, Marcus Kwame Anderson, published by Penguin Random House.
Yeah, it was we wanted to mix it up. We wanted to have a range of titles in the nominations, and this is very strong because David F. Walker is a writer who's written for DC. He's written with Brian Bendis. He's written a lot of indie comics as well. He co-writes Bitter Root, I believe, as well for Image, and he's got an amazing CV. And this was a very ambitious project, and it's the kind of thing, I guess, interesting. We wouldn't have had a book like this say 5 or 10 years ago, probably. So I think it shows how comics has evolved and changed, and how, you know, it reflects politics a lot more than it used to, and that's a great thing. I mean, there's always politics in comics, but I think this is a book that maybe they wouldn't have been able to publish, say, 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah. So there's that one. We also had ourselves. Oh, hang on a second. Reckless by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, Image Comics.
A phenomenal team. Everything they do is, to be honest, is fantastic. You know, there's such incredible chemistry between the two of them. You know, it's another great graphic novel. I mean, you know, what's incredible is they raise the bar and they just keep on raising it. And it's another great read.
Absolutely. We had Infinitum by Tim Fielder and published by HarperCollins. We had ourselves Monsters.
Well, Barry Windsor Smith. For this for the last 25 years or something.
Yeah.
So eagerly awaited book, you know, if one were.
Barry Windsor Smith, Fantagraphics, Jonathan Cape. I'll try and get the nominations out and let Joel make his comment. Blue and Green, written by Ram V, art by Anand RK, and published by Image Comics. This has just been picking up awards left, right, and centre over the last year and a half, hasn't it?
Well, deservedly so. I mean, Ram V is a phenomenal writer, and, you know, working with Anand again, I believe this is his second or third project. They're a great team. This is, again, a very bold comic, a very bold graphic novel. Again, it's maybe the kind of thing that we wouldn't have seen 5 or 10 years ago. So, yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal list. I mean, if any of the 5 had won, you know, they would all be of equal importance, but there can only be one winner. Indeed.
Best original graphic novel was Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith, published by Fantagraphics and Jonathan Cape. Excellent stuff. Barry unfortunately couldn't join us live on the evening. Did he manage to get back to you at all, Joel?
No, not yet.
He's a busy chap. He's a busy chap. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I understand.
Sure. Okay. Next category was Best Collection, sponsored by Modern Fanatic. Now, this is a new category that was included by Joel in the lineup. Basically, a number of the judges took the brief for the title in various ways. Some people took it for what could be included in the in the collection, such as behind the scenes views, additional material, or there were some that just looked at the way that the book was put together and in a physical nature. And I think we all kind of came at it from different views, but all of the books represented very much celebrating some amazing collections. Okay, so the nominations for Best Collection were Black Hammer, Library Edition, Volume 2, Jeff Lemire, Dean Ormston, Emma Lennox, Dave Stewart, published by Darkhorse Comics. Conan, Serpent War, Jim Zub, Vanessa Del Rey, Scott Eaton, Steven Segovia, published by Marvel Comics. The Trigon Empire, Volume 2, Mike Butterworth, Don Lawrence, Ron Embleton, published by Rebellion Press. Only available in softback, which I was a bit disappointed about, to be honest, after that amazing hardback of Volume 1. I would have loved to have had that, the Volume 2, alongside the hardback. Out of Darkness, Q, by John Layman, Afa Chan, Robert Gilroy, and published by Image Comics. And last but not least, Empire by Al Ewing, Dal Slott, Valerio Schitti, Marte Gracia, Joe Caramanga, a whole bunch of creatives involved in this particular opus, published by Marvel Comics.
And of course, one winner.
Indeed. Thoughts on the lineup, Joel?
Well, again, it's very strong. I think it's quite mixed. We've got, you know, Black Hammer, which is an amazing Dark Horse independent, well, you know, kind of American independent comic. You've got Empire, which is an incredibly ambitious Marvel epic. I think we've got, again, a good mix of titles.
Absolutely. And the winner is Black Hammer, Library Edition, Volume 2. Jeff Lemire, Dean Ormston, Emma Lennox, David Stewart, and published by Darkhorse. Congratulations to all of them. As it happens, we have a video from Jeff, who was not able to join us, but he winged it across the interwebs and said his thanks in video.
Hey, Tripwire Awards. This is Jeff Lemire. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the award this year. It was a real surprise and real honor to receive. I also wanted to thank obviously Dean Ormston, my co-creator of Black Hammer, and all the contributors to the library edition, and everyone at Darkhorse Comics for putting together such a great collection, and of course to all the readers of Black Hammer for supporting our crazy superhero books over the last couple of years. Thanks again, and hopefully I'll see you all in the UK soon.
Excellent stuff indeed. Thank you very much indeed to Jeff for sending that message over to us. Okay, next category was the best small press independent US. We have two best small press independents. I think off the back of something I said actually at the award ceremony, I think we need to retire the phrase "the big two" because the size and the power and the influence of small press independent just, I believe right now, outweighs what Marvel and DC can bring to the table. And there are other players that are just keeping the game very much alive and vital and vibrant. And we've got some publishers which are just demonstrating just how powerful an art form comics can be. Sponsored by Knockabout Comics, then, the best small press independent comics US. Nominations are Valiant Comics, Dynamite Editions, Alt Comics, Magnetic Press, Black Mass Studios. Oh, thoughts?
Well, again, we try to mix it up. We try to have a good range of people. I mean, Vault in only 5 years have done some pretty amazing work. Dynamite is still doing some really strong titles. So, hopefully it was a good mix. We tried to make it fair. We tried to have a range. And Magnetic are doing some interesting books as well. So, yeah, hopefully it's a good list.
Absolutely. Only one winner, as he says. And yes, the winner for Best Small Press Independent US was Vault Comics. Congratulations.
Well.
Bravo. Excellent stuff indeed. Again, the chaps weren't able to join us. The brothers weren't able to make their way over. But we did have a video sent to us by David Disanyaki, who's the head of public relations for Vault Comics. So it was great to have him send us a video in thanks.
Hello, Tripwire and Tripwire readers. David Disanyaki from Vault Comics here. Just wanted to take a moment and offer my sincere thanks for giving us the Best U.S. Independent Publisher Award. We are extremely grateful and humbled that you would give us this award. I also want to take a moment to thank, in particular, each and every one of the incredible creators that work with us. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. This is as much their award as it is ours. Thank you again all very, very much. And we'll talk to you soon. Be well, everybody. Bye.
Thank you very much indeed, David. Again, I mean, Vault Comics, certainly there's some a huge range of British creators that are publishing underneath that particular banner at the moment. So, yeah, it could easily be seen as a new Vertigo, and they really are putting out some incredible books. Okay, next nomination, Best Small Press Independent UK. Again, sponsored by Knockabout Comics. And the nominees are BHP Publishing, Time Bomb Comics, Self-Made Hero, Soaring Penguin Press, and Titan Comics. And the winner for this particular category, a very strong one, is Titan Comics. Congratulations. They have been incredibly strong with what they've been doing. For myself, the way they've been representing in the US and breaking that market open has just been very impressive. Yeah, it's just been so much fun to see all of these creators and all these books being put out by small press and independent. But what Titan have been doing is just taking that entirely to another level. And it's just been impressive to see. Joel?
Oh yes, definitely. I agree. They've had a good range. They have a good range of titles, and it's a well-deserved win.
Excellent stuff. Okay. The next category is Best Digital Comics, sponsored by Modern Fanatic. Now, this is a category which, again, has just been added for this year's awards. And it does represent the changing face of comics. We could have added this a couple of years ago from the start of the inception of the awards, but I think this year definitely shows what digital comics have brought to the table when people haven't been able to get to comic book shops, and they have been taking on board their content on the internet. Again, a very, very strong lineup. There was one clear winner, to be fair, on this particular category, but the nominees are Best Digital Comics, Quarantine Comics by Rachel Smith, Red Hook, Blackout, HotelFred.com by Roger Landstridge, King's Ransom, presented by Adventure Time, and Batman, Legends of the Dark Knight, the digital edition published or put out there by DC Comics. And the winner, by quite some margin, was Quarantine Comics by Rachel Smith. Unfortunately, we don't have the video of her winning her award at the Cartoon Museum. She came down with a small posse of friends, and the joy that came out was quite impressive. If anything, because she didn't think she was going to win. She's up against some incredibly strong names in that particular category. But it's safe to say anyone who has gone through lockdown and quarantine and pandemic, as we have done as a culture worldwide, we needed a voice that could articulate our frustrations, our passions, our things that we are taking for granted, things that we are enjoying and embracing. And we had that on a day-to-day basis from Rachel's strips. It was just it was almost like just a present that arrived in your inbox or on your screen when you went through your timeline each and every day, and you just felt less alone reading Quarantine Comics. Joel, your thoughts?
Well, no, I agree. As you say, she was a regular kind of force in comics over the course of the lockdown and the quarantine period. So, as you say, she did win, but it was quite tight for a little while, and then it switched. That's the thing about a lot of these, some of these awards, is the running was very close, and then you'd have the winner, literally at the last minute.
I think the other thing about Rachel as well was the fact that this was definitely something that you felt was just a cap on top of all of the great work that she's been doing up to now. Stand Up for Your Rights, Wide Up Wrong, the books that she's been doing, and the strips that she's been doing, and the digital comics that she has been running. That was great stuff, but this was just the icing on top of the cake, and it just was the perfect storm for just an amazing run of books. If you can get hold of the print copy of Quarantine Comics, I highly suggest you do so. It's a great book. Okay, next category, Best Crowdfunding Campaign, sponsored by Modern Fanatic. This again is a new category, but this we all kind of approach from different approaches. The rewards that you could get from a campaign, the communication that creatives gave to their audience, and the building of that audience through the campaign. I think we all kind of approached the title Best Crowdfunding Campaign from different perspectives. The nominees for this category were Nocterra, Scott Snyder and Tony Daniel by Best Jacket Press, Berserker by Keanu Reeves, Matt Kind and Ron Garney, Backing Out by Chip Mosier and Peter Krause, Palomino by Stephen Frank, and Pop Kill by Jimmy Palmiotti, Dave Johnson, Juan Santa Cruz, Brian Reba, and Amanda Connor, published by Paper Films. An amazing bunch of campaigns, all from different success, I suspect. I mean, there was clearly one there that was a a behemoth that raked in quite a bit of money purely off the back of the Hollywood name that was involved. But all of them did incredibly well in establishing a rapport with their audience, which I think for myself, certainly when I was putting my nominations in, was what I was looking for. John?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as you say, each of these campaigns have something different to offer. And as you said, they all connected with their audience. I mean, someone like Chumi Pomiotti has done something staggering, like 16 campaigns, I believe, to date. And he does it so effortlessly, and it's not easy, because we've run a Kickstarter recently, we're doing another one, so it's not as easy as it looks. And again, they all approach things in a slightly different way, but they were all successful. They all connected with the audience, and they all offered something interesting to the people that pledged on them. So, I mean, we could have picked another 5. That's the thing about the Kickstarter space is it's so diverse now. Is there's such a huge range? You know, we could have come up with 5 other titles potentially, and next year probably a different sort of batch of books. Obviously, perhaps with some of the same sort of people. But it is
I think crowdfunding over the last year and a half has developed into something else as a different animal. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the campaigns that are nominated for next year's awards are going to be. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But the winner for best crowdfunding campaign was Berserker by Keanu Reeves, Matt Kind, and Ron Garney. It was the monolith that kind of dominated over everybody else's campaigns. The money that it raked in was incredible. And I would fully expect to see that being adapted to other media down the line. But the great thing about the book, which I found, and I think the reason why it developed such a strong crowdfunding campaign, was that Keanu Reeves, from the outset, said that this was a comic. He was a comic. He's been a comic fan for years, and he wanted to create a comic, something that you could only do on the printed page. And that's what he wanted to do with this campaign. So excellent stuff indeed. Okay. Next nomination, series of nominations. The category was Best New Talent, sponsored by the Convention Collective, which is my little effort. It's a site we'll talk about in a bit later on when we cover all of our sponsors. But yeah, it was a particular thrill for myself to sponsor this category, because it's always the next generation of readers, of creators that I'm excited about. So this was a special thrill for myself to have my name put to this. Best New Talent, we had Syra Begum, based in Yorkshire, my neck of the woods. So it was great to see a Yorkshire lass represented in the lineup. Jamal Campbell, Stephanie Phillips, Jeff McComdy, and German Ponce. And the winner for Best New Talent was... we're not doing drum rolls this time round. We did drum rolls on the night. We did drum rolls last year, didn't we? Yeah.
Well, we didn't quite work with.
Yeah. Stephanie Phillips. I've been incredibly lucky to interview some amazing talent over the course of pandemic and lockdown. Stephanie was somebody that I was able to get the chance to talk to just as she was having the release of Tana come through Heavy Metal magazine. And to see her work grow and develop over the years has just been incredible. But for myself as well, it's the sheer breadth of what she does, from horror, from fantasy, from spy thrillers, to the big mainstream titles, writing with for Harley Quinn. The breadth of what she does and the quality of what she does just blows me away. Stephanie Phillips, a very deserving winner indeed.
Yes.
Excellent stuff indeed. Okay, next category was Best Editor, sponsored by Modern Fanatic. And I think this is a category which, for myself, and I'm certain Joel will agree, is very worthy to be included in any comics industry celebration, because they really are the ones that not only are the masters of the dark arts, of getting a comic printed and getting books out there, but also just the herding of cats, which is a creative team. How they do it, I have simply no idea. It really takes a very unique skill. Best Editor for 2021. The nominees were Karen Berger, Brady Webb, Rachel Fulton, Ben Abernathy, and Tom Payer. Thoughts about the lineup, Joel?
Well, again, we tried to mix it up a bit. We tried to have a range of people. You know, Brady works for Panini, so obviously a British comic company. Karen Berger runs Berger Books. Well, she has a credible CV going back many, many decades. Tom Payer works for Ahoy. Again, we wanted to have a range of people, really, and hopefully we've achieved that again.
Yeah. Okay. And the winner for the best editor for 2021 was second year on the trot,
Indeed.
Karen Berger. And yeah, it's a recognition of not only her years in the industry, but also the book she's putting out now. She's not someone who's just resting on her laurels or just celebrating those. She's doing vital books today. So it's great to still see Karen's name on the cover of some amazing books right now. Okay. We didn't. Oh, let me just pause that for a second. It might be even a little bit quiet, but we'll see what we can do about that. Basically, we were very lucky to get this video from Karen, who shared this with us. And I think I can just jack up the volume just a little bit. There we go. Karen sent us this video, and yeah, she was understandably very grateful for the award.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for this wonderful award. I'd like to thank everybody who voted for me, and I'd like to thank everyone who didn't vote for me. I think everyone who participates in the Tripwire Awards recognize good comics and even great comics. And it's just great to work in an industry where fans play such a big part in what we do and in appreciating what we publish. So thank you everybody out there for voting and for reading comics, especially in these challenging times. I hope everybody stays safe out there. If you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. And hope to see you all when we get through all this. Last but not least, I have to thank several people. Richard Bruning, my partner in crime, Berger Books' art director and graphic designer. I'd also like to thank Ray Boyadius, my fantastic associate editor who helps me out enormously. The fine people at Darkhorse, of course, for supporting the line and for publishing the line, especially Mike Richardson. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all the amazing writers and artists, colorists and letterers for being who they are, for being amazing creative forces, and for being really nice people. You make my life really rewarding and really fun. And thank you again for everything. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Excellent stuff indeed. Thank you very much indeed to Karen for getting that video to us. Yeah, very worthwhile, and yeah, one of the best in the business. Okay, you still there, Joel?
Yes, indeed.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff indeed. All right then, I believe we now can take some time to recognise our sponsors, because at the end of the day, without these people, we weren't able to put on the Tripwire Awards in any form at all. So they were very much a vital component for allowing us to do what we do. So we start with, let's have a look at what we've got here. In your own time. Yeah, Knockabout Comics. Joel, I'm going to let you take the lead on this particular section. Please do let us know more about our fantastic supporters and our sponsors.
Well, as it says there, Knockabout's been around since the mid-70s, publishing a range of British, European, and US independent comics from the likes of Alan Moore, Gilbert Shelton, Robert Crumb, Melinda Gebbie, Eddie Campbell. The list goes on. You know, they are a stalwart. They're a veteran comic publisher in the UK, and they've always supported the left of centre independent comic scene over here. and they very kindly supported us again. I think that might be the third year running that they've sponsored this category, and they're a major part. People should check out their website, which I think might just be knockaboutcomics.com, to see the range of books that they've published.
Absolutely. Our next sponsor, Modern Fanatic. Now, this is an interesting choice of supporter, but they are very much in the comics PR world, and they've got some pedigree in that regard as well with the person who's running the company.
Yes, that's correct. It's run by Chris Longo, who used to work for DC. Modern Fanatic, it's a media agency. We are with the Tripwire as well. So basically, they deal with advertising and publicity for a range of different brands. They work with the CW, they work with Comixology, they work with Heavy Metal. Excuse me. They work with a lot of different companies, and they've only been around sort of for a few years, but they've really built up a great presence, and they're a great company. And they were kind enough to support, I think it was 5 of our categories, excuse me, this time around. So a fantastic company.
Yeah.
And they do great work.
The name does crop up a lot in this particular awards, but no, they're very much worthwhile checking them out. We then had ourselves Aftershock. This is a company that I was incredibly lucky to be in the room when they effectively launched it at ICE International Comic Festival in Birmingham, and we had the two head honchos, Joe Pruitt and Mike Martz, come over and launch Aftershock, and what they've done in the interim has just been mind-blowing, because the variety and the strength, the sheer quality of the books they're putting out just can't be understated.
No, I agree. I mean, as you say, started by Joe Pruitt, who's got decades in the comic industry, and Mike Martz, who's worked for Marvel, for DC, for Valiant. In the last, I think it's been 5 years, they've really built up to be a force to be reckoned with, and they've got some great creators. And in the last few months, they've announced some new books. They're starting to move into TV and film as well. So, a phenomenal company, and we were very, very proud to have them on board as one of our sponsors. Yeah,
very much so. We then have ourselves Ace Comics. Now, we actually had the boss man of Ace Comics joining us on the evening, and it was great to have him in the room. Yeah, you know them better than I. Please tell us more.
Well, Ace Comics is one of the longest established British comic companies. They have a fantastic mail order business. They have 2 very good shops, one in Southend, one in Colchester. And Biff, who runs the shop, is an amazing businessman. He's very canny. He's got a lot of regular customers. He's got 2 great shops. Check out acecomics.co.uk. And they offer fantastic service as well. So they're one of the best comic shops in the country.
Absolutely. And then we had ourselves Image Comics, who supported us. If you don't know who Image Comics are, it's very possible you're watching the wrong stream, because they are very much, when I talked about the scrapping of the term, the big 2, it's Image and companies like them that have just made that statement kind of like a viable thing, because they really are up there publishing some of the best books, independent, creator owned, that are on the shelves today. They are the 3rd largest comics publisher in the United States, but they have achieved that through an incredible roster of fantastic talent.
Agreed. There's not much more to say. I mean, no Image, no Walking Dead. God, the list is endless. No, the amount of talent that they've had working for them. You've had a Spawn running for 29 years, or something, coming up for 30 years. I can't think of many other companies. They're an independent company, and they've got the longest running independently published comic book of all time. And they're still going from strength to strength, still publishing new books. And I mean, as you say, what else there's to say about them?
Yeah. Again, it's a company that isn't resting on its laurels, and it's always looking forward. So yeah, brilliant stuff that they're putting out. And who else we've got? The Convention Collective, a small effort, which has been a little bit in a hiatus over the last 18 months, but it's one that hopefully I'm going to do my best to grow and develop. At the moment, it's very much celebrating reviews of books and films and television, but hopefully we are going to start returning to live events and doing some more coverage in that regard. So please visit theconventioncollective.com for more information. And we have ourselves our next category for the Tripwire Awards 2021. Sponsored by Modern Fanatic, it's Best Publisher. And the nominees are Image Comics, Humanoids, DC Comics, Darkhorse Comics, and Aftershock Comics. A broad mix there of not only that you've got your big boys, but you've also got Humanoids in there that is putting out some strong books and some great unique voices. Aftershock, we've talked about them. We know how good their books are. Image are still a massive force. Yeah, this was just an incredible category to have in there.
Yes, I agree. It was. And again, we wanted to try and give it a mix and try and throw in some sort of newer players with the more established.
Yeah. And the winner for Best Publisher for 2021 was Image Comics. Congratulations to not only the team at Image, but also all the creatives that have books coming out through their umbrella. And because, like I say, it's not just one person that leads that team. It's a whole host of names that put that together. As it happens, though, I believe we have a video with Eric Stevenson, who is the chief publisher. What is his title at Image nowadays?
I'm not sure it's changed. I think it's just publisher.
Yeah.
We didn't have a video. We had a statement, which I don't have to hand, unfortunately. I'm going to paraphrase it and just say that Eric Stevenson wants to thank everyone who voted for the Tripwire Awards and thank all of the talent at the company. And he's very grateful for being this year's winner, and he thanks everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, and thoroughly deserved as well. Okay, next nomination category is Best Cover Artist. Into the creatives now. Some great art that has been represented over the last 18 months. And we had ourselves our nominees, which were Jen Bartel, a very distinctive artist indeed. Joelle Jones.
Again, another person with a very distinctive style.
Indeed. Vivier Coppel.
Coppel, yes, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Stanley Artgerm Lau. Strong painting style, beautiful books. And the legend, which is Art Adams.
Again, you instantly recognize his style.
Yeah, some great books put out for 2021 and 2020. And the winner for the Best Cover Artist, Tripwire Awards 2021, was Joelle Jones. Phenomenal stuff. Just an incredible artist, and it's a
great talented writer as well. In fact,
yeah, joy to see her work whenever it shows up on the shelves. Brilliant stuff. Okay, next category was Best Colorist, sponsored by Modern Fanatic, and this is along with lettering. It's two categories I was very enthusiastic about because when it's done right, it just makes a book shine. When it's done wrong, that's when people notice it. It's one of those. It's like it's your cinematographer of the comic book.
Or editor or something. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's the one that sets the tone, sets the pace, and they need to be recognized more. And it's some amazing people that we've got in the lineup. Our nominees for Best Colorist are Marty Garcia, Jordi Belair, Matt Hollingsworth, Mike Spicer, and Dave Stewart. And the winner, Tripwire Awards 2021, Best Colorist is Jordi Belair. There's not a great deal else you can say about Jordi that hasn't been said and honoured and recognised before. What a talent.
Very talented, as you say.
Yeah. Great stuff. Okay. Next category, Tripwire Awards 2021. Again, lettering is the voice of the It's the sound department of the comic, and again, if it's done right, it just flows naturally with the design of a book. When it's done wrong, that's when it stands out. And you can often tell small press and independent books which haven't taken lettering seriously. It's the letterer that really does tie a book together. Some incredible names on our list. Clayton Cowles, Hassan Othman Helhao, Todd Klein, Tom Oshowski, Ed Dukeshire. Is there something that we want to say about this particular award?
Yes, we had this was an interesting one because the person who won actually, when we contacted them to tell them that they'd won, they told us that they were very flattered, but they said that since they're sort of semi-retired and they also felt like there were loads of other younger people who were more worthy of the award, this person said if you could give it, to the second person on the list. So it was incredibly gracious. I think we should mention who it was.
Yeah, go for it.
It was the wonderfully talented Todd Klein, who's been working for many decades, lettering some of the best comics ever published. So we had to mention that as we did at the live awards. So it was Todd Klein, but the winner, who was number 2, still incredibly talented man, was
Hassan Othman Helhao. Absolutely. I think people are not just recognizing Hassan's work as a letterer, but also just what he's doing for comics generally, because what he's doing with panel by panel, it's just incredible. As it happens, Hassan was not able to join us at the awards, but he did send us a video, and that's what I'm going to play for you now.
Hi everyone, sorry I couldn't be there, but honoured to have one, especially alongside Tom, Todd, Clayton and Ed, obviously. I don't really have anything too interesting to say, but just as a general shout out, like, love your letterers, check out the work from some amazing people alongside those have been nominated, people like Ariana Mara and Russ Wooten. There's a whole bunch of amazing, fantastic, exciting lettering being done in pages of comics across the board today. So thanks again for the nomination, thanks for the win, and check out some other great lettering.
Which we certainly will. Thank you very much indeed to Hassan for sending that video in. The man, every time you see his name showing up in the credit list of a book, you just know it's going to be an incredible ride, and what he contributes is just immeasurable. Fantastic stuff. Okay, next category, Best Writer. Sponsored by Image Comics. This was incredibly close. Joel, I think you can say, I mean, even from the word go, this was a pie chart, which was just
very
like
tight. Every time I looked at it,
all
it
across,
changed. And as you said, it did get very, very close. It was a very close race.
Yeah. Nominees for this category, Best Writer, were Ram V, Al Ewing, Kelly Thompson, David F. Walker, and James Tynan IV. It kept bouncing around, but like I say, the pie chart was pretty much equal slices all the way across, because every single one of these could have easily won. Just amazing lineup of talent. But we had one winner, and at the end of the day, the best writer for 2021 was Al Ewing. What he's been doing with the Immortal Hulk has just redefined that character, and I think anyone who takes that character on once he leaves the book, which I think it comes to a close later on this year, I don't envy the person who has to follow that at all. Amazing stuff. We do have a video from Al saying thank you very much indeed. Let's play that for you now.
Hello. My name's Al Ewing. I'm here virtually to accept this award via video because I can't actually be there tonight in person, unfortunately. That said, thank you so much to everybody who considered me, nominated me, and voted for me in these awards. And also thank you to all of the teams I work with. Comics is very far from a solo sport. And without a lot of help, I would not be in a position to win anything. So thank you all. Thanks to everybody. And congratulations to all the other winners. And I hope everybody has a great night. See you later.
Thanks, Al. We did. It's. I think that's the smartest I've seen him. To be honest, it's great for him to have spruced himself up, dug out a jacket, and sent that video in to us. Al Ewing, best writer for 2021. Okay, best category. Oh, the next category, best artist, sponsored by Time Bomb Comics, who I believe we may have skipped in our.
Yes.
Yeah, we may have skipped that slide.
Do
you want to very quickly talk about Time Bomb then? And
well, Time Bomb Comics is a British independent comic publisher who publishes things like Flintlock and Brawler, run by Steve Tanner. He's very canny. He runs his comics. He funds them through Kickstarter campaigns, and of course there's Harker as well by Roger Gibson and Vince Danks. And they haven't been around that long, but Steve runs a fantastic Kickstarter campaign, and there's a lot of great talented people who've worked for the company. And it's if people check out, I think it's timebombcomics.com. They publish some great books. They continue to publish some great books.
Absolutely. Okay, so the nominees for Best Artist this year were Martin Simmons, Liam Sharp, Stephanie Hans, Tommy Lee Edwards, and Isad Ribic. Just a phenomenal bunch of talent, and every single one of them fully deserving of the award. However, there was only one winner, and the winner for Best Artist this year was Liam Sharp.
Who's had quite a year. A phenomenal year, in fact. It's continuing.
Absolutely. If you've not checked out Green Lantern, do so. If you've not checked out the Brave and the Bold book, which he did, which was just incredible. And that was, I think that was the start, wasn't it? That was the start.
He's been on an amazing role the last year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely stuff. Congratulations to Liam. Liam sent us a video saying thank you very much indeed, and we'll play that for you now.
Just wanted to say huge thanks to Joel and to Tripwire and to all the fans who voted for me to be best artist. It's amazing. Really wish I could be there. It's currently a beautiful day here in sunny California. I'm beavering away on far too many projects. I'm really looking forward to having a break back home in the UK in November. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. But in the meantime, have an amazing rest of the day. And thanks so much again. And all my very best. Cheers. Bye.
He's returning to the UK in November. That kind of tells me that we may be seeing him at Thought Bubble. So yes, I think that's great to have him back, and be looking forward to seeing him. Congratulations, Liam Sharp, Best Artist for 2021. Okay, Best New Series, sponsored by Darkhorse Comics. This was tough. If anything, not necessarily just on the putting together of the gathering the awards, which were particularly tight again for this category, but just the amount of books that all of the judges put in, the wealth of talent and the wealth of incredible titles that have been put forward, just incredible. So yeah, this was such a tough category. But here we go. Best New Series, sponsored by Darkhorse. And the nominees were The Other History of the DC Universe, John Ridley and various artists, published by DC Comics. The Swamp Thing, Ram V and Mike Perkins, DC Comics. The Department of Truth, James Tynion IV and Martin Simmons, published by Image Comics. Second Coming, Mark Russell and Richard Pace, published by Ahoy Comics. And they're gloriously titled Space Bastards, written by Eric Peterson, art by Joe Aubrey and Derek Robertson, published by Humanoids. Wow. Whoever had to vote for this particular category, that must have been a tough call. Just very difficult indeed. Just strong books across the board. Okay, and the winner was, for this particular category, Best New Series. It was The Department of Truth by Martin Simmons and by James Tynan IV. What they've been doing with this book is just been mind-blowing. But for myself as well, it's just been Martin Simmons' finest work. I mean, he was great before, but my God, it's like this book and what James has provided him on the as a scripted page has just flipped a switch, and he's just gone up a whole other level. When his name gets mentioned along the likes of Bill Sienkiewicz and Dave McKean, it's just a phenomenal read. But also, it's just a really convoluted, well laid out story. And what James is doing in comics generally is incredible. But what he's done with this book will be talked about for years. John?
Oh, I would echo that. As you say, they've been pushing the envelope here with what we can do with the comic series. And Martin Simmons has always been, as you say, a very good artist, but he's moved things to another level here. I mean, his covers are something else, but also the interiors are incredible. It's a book which is growing with each month, it seems.
Yeah. I'm also going to mention as well another member of the creative team, Aditya Bidikar, which I was very surprised wasn't nominated in Best Letterer this time round, because what he's been doing with the book is also been phenomenal.
Oh, I agree.
Absolutely. So The Department of Truth, Best New Series for this year.
And we do have a video from...
Oh, we do have a video, yes.
Yes.
Hey there. I just got wonderful news that the Department of Truth has won Best New Series at the Tripwire Awards, and I just want to thank you all so much for supporting the book. Department of Truth is a real passion project for me and Martin, and really we had no idea that it was going to find the audience it did, and that audience would still be so excited and energized about the series a year after its debut. So I just want to say thank you so much. We have so much more to come, and keep reading, and thank you to everyone at the Tripwire Awards. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much indeed to James for sending us that video. Like I say, a worthy winner. It's just an incredible book. If you've not checked it out yet, I would heartily recommend it. Just be prepared to head down several rabbit holes when you do, because there's not many books that will take in the assassination of JFK, Bigfoot, and end of world, so flat Earth conspiracy theories, and weave it all in this incredible narrative. Incredible stuff. Okay, we had this as a new category, and I'd like Joel to talk about this. Person of the Year, sponsored by Modern Fanatic. Why do you feel that this category deserved entry this time around?
Well, I just felt like we wanted to reflect people who've done things in the comics industry over the last year, what they brought to comics as a whole. And we looked at people, we had, I can't remember, 4 or 5 figures of people who've done things in the world of comics, and they've contributed to the comic industry. So it was one of these things where it didn't quite fit in with the other categories. So we thought it might be fun to include it this year.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them, and I'd like you to explain or at least kind of talk about why you feel that they certainly deserved inclusion in the category, because it's a broad range of people. It's not just the usual names. But
No.
let's celebrate. Person of the Year for Tripwire Awards 2021. The first person is Marie Javins.
Well, she's been head of DC at a particularly difficult time. The company going through a lot of changes, and not everything they've done has been, that popular with fans. But I feel that, that she has put some interesting things in place. And as I said, because she's at the top of DC, she is in a little bit of a vulnerable position. That if people take pot shots at the company, I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying that they've had a difficult time. And as editor-in-chief, she's come out very, very well. I mean, she's always been an incredibly well-respected figure in comics. And I think she, for this category, she deserved to be in it because, who'd want to be editor-in-chief of DC, during a worldwide pandemic. It's not a very enviable job, and I think she's done a really good job of it.
I think also the fact that she's kept the company vital. It's not something. I mean, it could have been very easy for a publisher to just kind of tread water for the year and a half, and they refused to do that. They just carried on. They moved forward like a shark. Incredible stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Yes, there we go. Kevin Smith.
Okay, well,
inclusion.
It wasn't my choice, I admit, because what we normally do with the nominations is that we take a straw poll of the different nominations and put it all together. But you can't argue that Kevin Smith is still a really good ambassador for comics. He had that awful health scare where he almost died, and he came back. I think that was pre-pandemic, and he's still been doing live shows. I think he still does his podcast. So as an ambassador for the world of comics, I can't think of many other people who do it better.
Yeah, very much so. Ross Ritchie.
Well, blimey, I mean, Boom has gone from strength to strength over the last year and a half. The pandemic has really fed into it. They've got some amazing books. They've got things like Once and Future by Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora. They've got a huge line. They've really expanded. They've really flowered, over the last year and a half. And Ritchie's been at the head of it, and he's been very canny. When the shops closed, they adapted to what was thankfully only a temporary environment. But Boom have been doing great work, and he's been at the head of it. He's been the figurehead of that company, and he's been an amazing choice to steer it through some incredibly choppy waters. Yeah,
I think also the fact that Boom got itself, or was having itself a reputation of being very much a publisher that dealt more in tie-ins and licensed titles, but then to just keep, like you say, bring these original titles to the fore. Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff.
Yes.
Eric Stevenson, the one and only.
Yeah, well, we've talked about Image before. Again, Image, phenomenal company. Department of Truth, huge book. So many books, I can't even name them. Stevenson, again, he's the man arguably who saved Image, when it was teetering before The Walking Dead started. And it turned it from being a kind of superhero-driven company into a very diverse. And again, he's constantly reinventing the company, and he is, he's the figurehead of Image. And again, over the last year and a half, Image has done some phenomenal stuff, and he's the man. He's not solely responsible. He's one of the people. As I said, again, he's at the head of that company, so he again deserves his accolades. Deserves his recognition, shall we say?
Sure. And last but not least, John Freeman.
Well, we've talked about Down the Tubes. It's a great website that celebrates British comics and British comic talent. And John's been working, as you said, he works with the Lakes. He's been a great British. Well, he's almost like a British comics ambassador. He celebrates the form, he celebrates the creators, and again, I thought he was a great choice to go into this because he does so much. He does so much in terms of positive things for UK comics. Yeah.
If it wasn't for his direct involvement with the Lakes, I would possibly see him being comics laureate because he's a great ambassador for the form.
Yes, precisely.
Okay. So, Person of the Year for 2021 was Marie Javins.
Indeed.
Excellent stuff. Congratulations to Marie. We weren't able to.
We did get a video.
Did we?
I thought I sent it. Apologies.
No, you didn't send it.
My apologies.
Okay. No worries. Okay. I will tell you what. We'll do a bit of a cut here, and I'll do my best to edit that into any kind of future video moving forward. But no, congratulations to Marie. Excellent stuff. Okay. And last but not least, it is the Tripwire Awards, the Roll of Honor. This has been an award which has been run since the inception of the awards, inducting 2 people from a list of curated creators, which stand head and shoulders as figureheads in the world of comics. Could quite easily form a Mount Rushmore of some incredible talent. And yeah, we had ourselves some great names put forward for this year's nominees. The nominees were Al Grant, Grant Morrison, Denny O'Neill, Dave Gibbons, Richard Corbin, Bill Sienkiewicz, Joe Kubert, and John Wagner. And as I mentioned on the night of the awards, there is some things slightly tying all 8 of those names together. And
no, I think you spelled Sienkiewicz correctly, but apart from that,
hopefully we'll see a little bit more diversity in future nomination lineups. But each and every one of them are a titan in the industry.
Yes.
Only 2 went forward though, and they were voted for by the comics fans who voted for the Tripwire Awards. So the 2 names that went forward into the Roll of Honor for 2021 are Bill Sienkiewicz and Grant Morrison. Excellent stuff indeed. 2 amazing creators. We were incredibly lucky to get videos from the pair of them, which we'll play for you now. And I think you can tell that it's very, very early in the morning for Bill in California.
Good morning. This is Bill Sienkiewicz from Los Angeles. It's about 6:30 a.m. my time. Just wanted to say good morning to you all and to thank you and Joel and everyone at Tripwire, everyone who voted in the Tripwire Awards. Personally, I want to thank you for electing me to the Roll of Honor. It's truly wonderful. I feel like I'm in some amazing company, and I'm incredibly touched and honored and thankful to all of you. So to Joel, to everyone at Tripwire, to all the fans in the UK, and to everyone all over the globe that voted in the awards. Again, thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks to everyone who voted me to be the tasty meat filling in Tripwire's Roll of Honor this year. Much appreciated. Good night.
Sorry, I put myself on mute there for a second just to keep things going. But no, it couldn't have been anything else from Grant Morrison, could it? That's
sweet.
Yeah, it was almost that's what we expected. That's what we wanted, and that's what we got.
Well, last year we got him dancing around in a Sean Connery mask in his garden. And this year we have him driving the car, but it's, as you say, it seems strangely appropriate.
Are you trying to tell me that wasn't Sean Connery? You're just destroying.
I'm shattered your illusions now, I'm afraid.
It is. That's terrible. Thank you very much indeed for that. I wanted to believe, but there you go. And I believe that would be the end of our presentation. Some worthy winners. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. But what I did want to show you as well was a couple of images from the actual evening as well, because, like I say, we had a cracking time.
We did. We had actual people there as well, which was nice.
It was great to have them there. We had ourselves a fantastic time. Like I say, again, thanks to the Cartoon Museum in London for hosting us. I hope that we get to have the opportunity to return to the venue, because, like I say, I personally think it's incredible. It was incredibly fitting to have the awards hosted there. We got ourselves all spruced up and looking rather dapper and fine. We were able to share the videos with the people in the room. But we also had one or two that were able to accept awards in person. David Leach, who represented Titan Comics, who's been doing some amazing work as editor for them, including for Blade Runner, for under that title. And yeah, like I say, Rachel Smith was able to join us as well, and it was just so touching to see her response to winning the Best Digital Comics Award.
Yes.
But yes, it was great to have everybody there, it was just such a fun evening and well worth putting on. Really enjoyed it. So there we go. Tripwire Awards 2021.
Before we go, I just want to show people this is the
yeah, sure.
this is the plaque that the winners will be receiving. Obviously, it's a bit of a bad picture, but this is our nifty little plaque that the 21 winners will be getting. So I wanted just to share with people and show. Actually, it helps the right way around. So yeah, this is so it's a very nice little object that people get who won the award.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll bubble wrap those very carefully. An all glass plaque. Yeah, best of luck with that. Excellent. So there we go. Thank you very much indeed for watching this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed our little recap into the Tripwire Awards 2021. I think we've kind of covered what we felt about the awards. But for yourself, Joel, how you see the awards moving forward, because they're now going to be taking part as centerpiece to your Comic Con adventure next year.
Indeed. So the Tripwire Awards 2022, which is in our 30th anniversary year, will be taking place, as you say, as part of Tripwire Presents Bristol Comic Con. The website will be live in the next
it's just sunk in. We're not going to be at the Cartoon Museum.
No, I'm afraid not. So in Bristol next year, probably the hotel the show will be taking place at. So pretty much this time next year, so September, the evening of September the 3rd, 2022, we'll be celebrating another raft of brand new winners. So there'll be new nominations going out probably in the spring of next year. Which we
I was just going to say, is that a bit of a drop there? Have you announced the date?
Oh, well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, officially, yeah. I mean, unofficially, but yeah, this is an official thing. So yeah, 3rd to the 4th of September, 2022. People should keep their calendar free because they'll be able to head to the West Country to the Doubletree Hilton Hotel at Redcliffe in Bristol. And we do have some provisional guests lined up. We've got people like Jock, the Etherington brothers, Sean Phillips, Lawrence Campbell, Kevin Scott, Rob Williams, Martin Simmons, and a few US guests yet to be confirmed, but we're hoping it'll be a good weekend.
Come on, Joel, get the girls involved, please. Come on.
Oh, there will be.
Excellent stuff. Looking forward to that. So do keep your eye open on tripwiremagazine.co.uk for more official announcements about next year's Comic-Con hosted by it's the Tripwire Comic-Con.
It will.
So yeah, do keep your eye open for that. And that's us. Thank you very much indeed for watching.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Absolutely. Yeah, Joel, if you want to tell everyone where people can find you and what you get up to.
Well, I guess on Twitter, it's my handle is Joel Meadows 1. Tripwire Magazine does have a Facebook group, which I think is just Tripwire Mag. I think it's facebook.com/Tripwire Mag. And as Leonard mentioned, tripwiremagazine.co.uk is where you can find all the latest posts from the site. And then once we go live with the website for the show, it will also be on there. So yeah, people feel free to check out the site, and we'll be officially announcing soon. So there will be a good range of guests there. We want to make it a really unusual show and hopefully bring some new things to the show space. And we're very excited about doing it.
Yeah. And I believe we can hear your dulcet tones on a radio show at some point in the near future as well.
Well, yes, from the 20th of September on 365 Online, I'll be doing a bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks, Tripwire comics and genre show. So it'll be 2 hours of comic talk, film talk, TV talk, and some music. So as you say, that launches in just over a week's time.
Just over a week, man.
So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Excellent stuff. So yeah, do check those links out and keep a track on what Joel's up to. For myself, Englishman SDCC on all the social medias, and of course you can find us on YouTube. Please do like and subscribe this video, and let us help spread the word about the Tripwire Awards, but of course about the return of Talking Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego, which happens in a couple of weeks' time. So please do join us at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT on Sunday the 26th. And of course, any guests that you would like to see on the show, do let us know, and we'll do our best to pester them to get them to join us on a future episode. So from myself and from Joel,
indeed,
hopefully we'll see you online, but
in person, hopefully at some point.
Yes, fingers crossed. Yes, get yourself vaccinated. Karen said it best. Let's see if we can all gather and see each other in real world again. And yeah, let's hope that everyone stays safe. We'll see you on the other side. For myself and Joel, take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.